With almost 900 Pokemon to vote for before Pokemon Day, is there any Pocket Monster in the lineup that could get more votes than Pikachu?
I'm Backrolls.
And I'm Mac Fraser, and we're the Nintendo Nerds.
We're a comedy and gaming duo, here to help you craft and play your way to a better day.
We met in the not-too-distant past during some spirited online Mario Kart, and as it turns out, we share a love for art, gaming, and all things Nintendo.
And we want to share our nerdy knowledge with you.
So stick around, because in today's video, we're going to share our selections from the official Pokemon of the Year vote.
So, what a week for Pokemon! We just got Pokemon home as of last night as we're recording this.
Yes, we have, and I was coaxed into buying it. I wasn't going to.
We didn't last very long on that at all.
No, considering we were both really solidly on the fence of we're not gonna spend the $15.
Oh, you know, it just took me a couple of seconds of playing with that interface to go, I need it, I need my boxes.
It's just one of these things of I've been playing Pokemon for so long, and I've amassed so many of the legendary Pokemon and the shiny legendary Pokemon and the event Pokemon that I'm not quite ready to let them go yet, and it just seemed like now or never because the Pokemon Bank is currently free. And you know what? I'll pay for the Pokemon Home to get the ability to transfer all my stuff over from 3DS. I don't want to be paying 2 subscription services for this, so I basically had 30 days to do it.
Very true, and because of that, I have also been raiding Pokemon Sun and Moon and X and Y. It's been kind of nice to go back onto my 3DS. I'm definitely on the hunt for some Alolan varieties that I can then drop into Wonder Trade and get some good karma.
Honestly, this is all pretty great timing leading up to Pokemon Day, which, by the way, if you don't know, is the annual celebration of Pokemon, and it takes place on the original release date for Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green in Japan on February 27th. If you've been watching the video game news lately, you've had a chance to vote for a Pokemon in each region that will eventually become the Pokemon of the Year.
But we only make videos once a week, and voting actually ended on the 14th a couple days ago, so sorry if you wanted to vote and you're just now seeing this. But we thought it would make for a fun conversation to share and discuss some of our favorite picks from each region, and ask to hear your favorites.
So we're going to go through the generations in chronological order, and we have a few honorable mentions to share that almost made the cut. So we're going to jump right in here. Obviously, first region, blue, red, green, Kanto. Backrolls, I'm going to let you go first on this one.
Well, neither one of us picked Pikachu. I'm sure Pikachu will probably honestly come out on top when it comes to the Kanto vote. It's hard to vote against the mascot, but, well, and fun fact for you if you didn't know this, the original mascot was actually intended to be Clefairy.
Which is crazy to think how different the series could have been, or people's attention or care for the series would have been if Clefairy was front and center.
Who knows? It really took the anime series for Pikachu to take off as the mascot, and he really got a makeover from the original game. I love the Dynamax Chunky Boy Pikachu. It's really cute.
He has gone to Weight Watchers.
Yes, but picking a Kanto choice was tough, as we are the seasoned old gamers who remember opening Pokemon Blue. So I had a really tough time choosing, but I had to go with Eevee. Eevee is, I think, the flagship Pokemon for evolutions. I think it's just so cool that it can turn into so many different varieties. It was an inspired choice in the first games to have 3 different choices, even though it would be a pain in the butt to actually get a full Pokedex. But I love evolutions, and the rumors are that we might get a few more in this upcoming DLC, and I'd certainly love to see that too. But that's I picked Eevee so that I didn't have to pick any evolutions in any upcoming gens.
Honestly, I have to say I think that that's a really great pick, especially because it's one of the Pokemon that has really, like, I know we've seen Alolan Pokemon and Galarian Pokemon in more recent years, but Eevee is one of the Pokemon that has kind of made its way through the generations and almost always with something new to offer in terms of new evolutions. And I think for the most part, they're pretty good. They all have stats that are strong in different ways than the others, and I think it gives you other opportunities to use it. Yeah, Eevee's a really solid pick. I'm on board with that one for sure.
Well, let's keep chugging along. Who was your Kanto choice?
Okay, so I just want to like come out swinging here and say that I have no science behind any of this. I did not pick based on types that I like. I did not pick it based on, teams that are going to run the gamut and, just
Battle
run over
viability.
Yeah, exactly. It really had nothing to do with that. I picked, honestly, mostly based on aesthetics, just Pokemon that I like. And you know what? Some of them for ones that I used a lot in the games, and some of them for, their showing up in the anime. So my first pick for Kanto is going to be Arcanine. Arcanine is just one of these Pokemon. It is a stellar fire-type Pokemon. I'm pretty sure that it was originally supposed to be a legendary, and they ended up kind of nixing that and falling onto the 3 legendary birds, because I'm pretty sure the Pokedex entry still says legendary Pokemon.
I believe that's true.
So I don't know. And it was one of these things of, it was in the Pokemon animated series intro, and you see it running across the field, and then the Pokedex entry back then was something to the effect of it could run like 2,000 miles in a day or something like that. And I just thought, man, that would be a cool Pokemon to ride around. So yeah, that's my first pick for Kanto is Arcanine. And honestly, in every single game that Growlithe and Arcanine have been in since the inception of Pokemon, it has been a staple in my team.
You gotta love a fast fire type. I understand that.
It makes sense to me. And no hate to the Charizard lovers out there, but I don't know. I just think Arcanine is cooler.
Let's move on to Pokemon Gold and Silver, the Johto region, and probably the last one for a while that I can pronounce without butchering it.
Yes. Who's going to go first?
Go for it.
Okay, so we're going to go back onto the Eevee train here for a moment, actually. My pick for this was Umbreon. Again, just a cool-looking Pokemon. I will say I've used this one in my parties as well. Umbreon gives me a bit of a different way to play. I don't generally play too much with different sort of tactics and stuff, but Umbreon becomes a lot more viable if you treat it like a tank. And that's kind of what it's built for. So yeah, I don't know. I would pick it. And also because the shiny Umbreon, that black and blue. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, I think it's probably the best of the shiny evolutions, in my opinion. I get that we all have differing opinions on that, so...
Well, Gold and Silver was great because it had lots of new typings to be introduced. I really liked Dark and Steel. Steelix was almost my pick for Gold and Silver, so I get it. I think that a Dark-type Pokemon is a great choice.
So how about you?
This was tough for me as well. Now, this was one of the last ones I played for a while. I took a break for a couple of generations, and I really love Mareep. Mareep is my favorite electric type, and its evolutions are also great to use in battle, however, and I promise I didn't always just pick the cutest Pokemon in the lineup, but I love Mareep. I love the idea of an electric sheep. Wooloo is also tremendous, but as soon as I saw Wooloo, I knew Mareep was going to get cut from the Pokedex, and it broke my heart. Don't mess with the OG electric sheep.
I don't know why there couldn't have been room in the Galar region for
type
two
moving
sheep.
into the biz. Exactly. You can't have... Or a regional Galarian Mareep would have been really cool. Maybe we'll still get one.
Who knows? I really hope that we're going to see some more Galarian variants here, given the teasers that we've got of what looks like, the legendaries from the Kanto region. So I'm hoping we're going to see more of that. Who knows? Maybe on Pokemon Day.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. How great. We may get some reveals on Pokemon Day. That's a great point.
Yeah, I guess that does it for the Johto region. RIP Pokemon games that let you go between 2 regions. It's really quite a sad thing. I wish
Inspired.
that even if one of the new games, now with the advent of DLC and things like that, wouldn't it be cool if they built into the Galar region to be able to go back to one of these older regions? I think to ask for all of it is a little bit much, but imagine if they built one of those older regions and they could go back into it.
Well, if they did something crazy, they're not going to do this. But I think about when the South Park Stick of Truth went to Canada, everything became a retro RPG and it became flat. What if they did a retro Game Boy Color Pokemon Gold and Silver? That's just something really, really silly I like to think about. If they did a 2D, 2.5D, a la Link's Awakening, something in between, their own vision. How silly and fun that would be, but we're not going to get something like that. It's just fun to dream.
Oh my god, and on a tangent to your dream, I just thought, imagine if Square Enix got involved and they gave it, like, the Octopath treatment. Imagine what Pokemon would be like if it looked like Octopath Traveler.
I think for that, you just need to go play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, this new remaster that's coming out.
Oh, I don't know if I'll get into that, but I'm sure a lot of our viewers will. Okay, so region number 3 here, Hoenn. Hoenn? Again.
Hoenn, I believe that's correct.
Yeah. So I'll start us off here. I am going to go with the water starter. Well, the final evolution of the water starter, Swampert. I'm going to level with you. I did not play... This would have been Ruby and Sapphire back in the day on the Game Boy Advance. It kind of came out around a time where I had become... I don't know, I was at an age where Pokemon wasn't cool anymore.
I don't know, man. I don't play that kid stuff. I want to play shooting games.
Yeah, and so
that was the era.
it really was. And I just, you know what, I didn't play it. And so my first encounter with this Pokemon in any sort of like major capacity was playing Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I thought the water ground typing was great for this one. And his Mega Evolution, he had a great Mega Evolution.
Well, I also personally don't have a connection to Ruby and Sapphire. I haven't even played the remakes. So it was really nice to go back and look at the Pokemon vote like this, because it had so many Pokemon broken down where I said to myself, I love that Pokemon. Oh, that Pokemon is from Ruby and Sapphire? Well, that's definitely going on my list. And for me, in this example, that is Gardevoir. I think Gardevoir is such cool anime fantasy Pokemon design. It is alien fantasy chic. I want to see Erica Clash's interpretation. Oh, spoiler alert, she did do a really terrific Zygarde, so if you want to check out her mythical Pokemon look, go check that out. But that is to be said, I think Gardevoir is fierce. I love her.
Yeah, another one of those Pokemon that got a Mega Evolution that just made it even better. So yeah, but Gardevoir's a really solid pick. I like that one a lot. I think that we should move on to region number 4. Oh my god, it's not until you read this list that you realize, oh my goodness, there's a lot of Pokemon regions now.
Well, yeah, Generation 8, we've been living with Pokemon for over 2 decades now.
Oh my god, it's just insane. Just quick, because I thought of it. The first time I played Pokemon was I played Pokemon Red. My parents went out for dinner and we had a babysitter come over and he had a Game Boy and he actually let me wipe his save file so that I could play Pokemon Red. And after that, I asked my parents for a Game Boy Color because I knew that I had to play it. So yeah, Sinnoh. This is region number 4. My first pick for this one is going to be, or my only pick for this one, I guess, is going to be Abomasnow. I don't gravitate a lot towards the Ice-type Pokemon, I'm not going to lie. I really enjoy Abomasnow. I like his design. I like that he's got that dual typing with grass. It kind of gives him a little bit more leverage over some other types of Pokemon. And yeah, I like that when he busts into the scene, it's just Obama!
In Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah! That is one of the reasons that I like him.
Well, I can't complain with that. Obama Snow. I almost called him Obama Snow because
that's what it sounds like. It sounds like Obama Snow.
You've got that stuck in my head now. I think it's a fun pick. Ice types weren't. It took a couple of generations for ice types and for bug types to really find their footing. So there were some Pokemon that were later on down the line that I would agree I think are some really tremendous additions. I think Abomasnow is great. This, for me, again, not having a personal connection, I just went on design aesthetic, and my eyes went right to Shaman. So this is the only mythical Pokemon that I actually chose on this whole list, because I think the design is so cute. It's this little forest cherub hedgehog. I know there are 2 versions, so I prefer the ground version, and Ground Shaman is just, it's so cute. I want to make art out of it. I need to make a pin of Shaman one day.
Honestly, I think that you could do a great watercolor of that.
Hopefully, one day. I should hold myself accountable and make that here on the Nintendo Nerds.
I look forward to that day when I get to see that finished watercolor of the Shaman. 4 down, 4 to go.
Yeah, we're on first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for Unova, I had to go with my favorite Pokemon from the roster in Pokken Tournament. So I had to go with Chandelure. Chandelure.
It's so weird.
It is so weird. And when you saw Chandelure in the roster in Pokken Tournament, how would that happen? It's far and away my favorite Pokemon to use in Pokken Tournament in a game that didn't particularly grab me because the online base wasn't as dedicated when it came to Switch, and I had, again, certain issues. I really, really enjoyed playing as Chandelure in a game where I didn't necessarily take home a lot of things to love. So for that, Chandelure has stood out for me since then as a real standout and a real favorite.
I think, though, that kind of comes part and parcel with the fact that you really like tricky characters. You like unconventional characters.
Very true.
In a lot of the game. Yeah, in a lot of the games that we play together, you really enjoy the unconventional characters.
The hunting
ones
of
who kind
ducks,
of make you,
the men of packs.
Yes, yeah, the ones that make you think a little bit more, and yes, the slippery ones like the Pac-Man.
Very true. Yeah, so Chandelure, again, not having a personal connection to the game, I had a connection to him from other parts of the Pokemon franchise, so that was my pick.
And what a great pick it is. My pick for Unova, I'll be honest with you, I did not play Black and White. I played Black and White 2. I would say, and I'm going to level with you, I don't think there was a lot of Pokemon that were introduced in that 5th generation that I liked a lot. I felt like the starters were a little bit weak in that generation compared to some of the generations that came before. I would say that my pick for this one, though, is going to be B-Sharp, however you say it. He's got, this Pokemon has a great aesthetic. It has a great look to it, both in regular and shiny forms. I like the Dark Steel typing. I think that it also can use fighting type moves, which makes it quite diverse in a lineup. Good ability to kind of keep a lot of different kinds of Pokemon at bay. I don't really have too much for B-Sharp or B-Sharp beyond that, to be honest.
Makes sense to me. It's solid Pokemon for your fighting lineup, and it's nice to I have a couple of those that I chose as well. There's Pokemon that I was drawn to aesthetically, and then there was Pokemon that I love to use in battle.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually is a terrific transition into Pokemon X and Y.
I have to say, up until the Sword and Shield release last year, obviously X and Y were the biggest jump the series had ever seen. I think the other 3DS games had done a great job of building on the blocks that they built, but X and Y was just such a stark departure from the earlier games because everything was 3D modeled and the battles were more exciting and bombastic than we've ever seen.
Yeah, and X and Y was the one that drew me back into playing Pokemon, and it going back through and putting some of my favorites from X and Y into Pokemon Home this week. Oh, it was great revisiting some of my favorite lineup.
I'm excited. There was a lot of Pokemon. I had a peek at your pick for this one, and it's a solid one. I'm gonna start us off, though, if I may.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, this Pokemon is one that stands tall for me. It is one of my favorites. I can't go as far as saying my favorite because I don't know if I could pick just one. But honestly, it's gonna be Greninja. That tongue is disgusting, but Greninja otherwise is a very cool Pokemon. I think that I love the ninja aesthetic. I think that's very cool. And then if you were lucky enough to play, I think it happened in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, there was like the Ash Greninja, where it was almost like a mega evolution, where he became stronger and he had a massive water shuriken on his back. And also because I watched all of the Pokemon tournament from the Kalos region in the anime on YouTube. And oh my god, that Greninja is just so unbelievably powerful. I don't know how Ash lost the Kalos region. Like, I understand that other trainer was great, but that Greninja was unbelievable. Your turn now. Go ahead.
Oh, what is cooler than a haunted ghost sword? I had to go with Aegislash because as soon as I saw that Pokemon out in the wild, my jaw dropped. I didn't really know that many Pokemon going into X and Y, and I was allowing myself to be surprised by new designs, and I am just in love with Aegislash. It's a great Pokemon from the beginning. On Edge, Doublade, and Aegislash are all tremendous. I love them a lot.
And spectacular shiny form for Aegislash.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, it's just amazing. I'll be honest, I'd like to breed for one of those because I would probably use it given the way that it looks. But yeah, I agree with you. Spectacular design. I like the the switching modes that it has, the
Mhm.
offensive mode and the defensive mode, and how it affects stats with that. I think that's very cool.
It's a great battle mechanic. As we were saying, I love a Pokemon that also does really well in battle and is really cool design, and that's a perfect marriage of both.
Hmm. So we are on to the second last region now. We're going into Alola.
I loved Pokemon Sun and Moon. A lot of people have mixed feelings on it, and I thought it had great Pokemon design and a fun experience. I had a hard time choosing this time.
I'm going to throw it out there that I'm on board with you. I think like Sword and Shield are great, and we're going to see so many things coming our way, especially with the introduction of Pokemon Home and things like that. But I got to tell you, I think that Sun and Moon are still my favorites. I think they did such a tremendous job with world building in that game. I think that the Pokemon that were added to the Pokedex in that one were stronger than they've been in a while. Like, again, the Kalos ones were very good, but I think that the Alolan ones were spectacular. That the advent of Alolan version Pokemon, that was a very cool introduction.
I agree.
For that game. I think that was a very cool way to revisit older Pokemon in a new way.
One of my favorite additions to the series. I always look forward to new variants now. I completely agree.
So here's hoping that's something that they keep going, without a doubt.
Why don't you share yours first? Your favorite pick from Sun and Moon.
Okay, so this one, apparently I'm not the only one, because if I've seen anything in the Wonder Trade stats of Pokemon Home since yesterday, is that like Rowlet is trending like crazy. Apparently lots of people want that. So my pick is actually his final evolution, Decidueye. The starter Pokemon in most Pokemon games are just so solid. Like there's always good Pokemon in these games, but I always feel that the starters are normally the best of their typings. And honestly, Decidueye has an amazing look, has an amazing shiny, and that Ghost Grass typing is just spectacular.
Completely agreed. It was a great mix-up type-wise, and I'm very excited to add it to my arsenal. Probably going to try and breed for a shiny one of that. As far as our lineup, that might be top of my list to try and snag.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. I am 100% with you there. I think that it's something that I'm going to do, which is unfortunate because I literally just did 500 eggs. If I had to pick one of the two, Decidueye would be it.
Well, I would also like to take this moment to personally thank our good gaming friend Dactyl for giving me a Japanese Ditto to significantly increase my odds with the Masuda method, and I'm much more likely to get a shiny thanks to her. So thank you so much, Dactyl. We love you.
Much love, Dactyl. Okay, how about you?
Yeah, for me, I had to change my pick. I had a couple backups, and I picked Rowlet, but I thought we should mix it up a bit and not just be like, we both agree. There's too many Pokemon to choose and feature, and I love Beware. Beware is my favorite combination of both cute and deadly. That's some of my favorite Pokemon, and Beware is definitely my favorite representation of that. So yeah, Beware all the way. I don't really like playing with Pokeballs in Smash, but I really like seeing Beware in Smash Brothers.
Because it's always such a daunting thing. You know that he's going to cause some chaos and someone is going to die.
You about to get pounched.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Beware was probably one of my favorites to be added in Sun and Moon, without a doubt.
And finally, Sword and Shield. You're all playing it. We're still playing it. Let's jump right in and go for it, Mac. What's your favorite new Pokemon of this generation?
I have to say, I think it's Corviknight.
Mm-hmm.
I always enjoy a good flying Pokemon. Having that dual typing with Seal is kind of nice because it gives you a little bit more to play with. And that shiny, that silver Corviknight is just unreal. I have another big up to give. Let's big up Jenks right now for breeding a shiny Rookie D for me so that I could add this to my team, and I'm quite happy about that.
Bravo, very proud.
This was one of the ones that if you go back to our video when we had originally spoken about, these announcements that were being made for Pokemon Sword and Shield, and they started showing off the Pokemon. This was around the time of E3 or something, I think, last year. This was one that we both had very positive things to say, and it's a strong Pokemon. It looks very good. It is a strong Pokemon. It has a great moveset. You can kind of make it whatever you want it to be. Mine is a bit on the tankier side. Mine can take a lot of damage and can also heal itself quite a bit. But yeah, that's it for me. So that's Galar for me. How about you?
I am so completely and utterly charmed by the way you evolve an Alcremie. That an Alcremie has to, far and away for me, is the most charming new addition to Pokemon. And so this was actually a pretty easy decision for me. You probably actually already knew I was going to pick this when we said we were going to choose Pokemon.
There was no doubt.
Yeah, there's so many variants, although I love my Rainbow Swirl one. The concept of what suite it's holding and what direction you're spinning and what time of day is going to affect its color. Inspired. And its Gigantamax is a giant cake. I love it. Like you said, I like the weird characters, so... and it's a great special defense tank on top of that, so it's a great addition. I really, really enjoy Alcremie.
Pokemon is a collect-a-thon already. Here, now collect some cakes.
Oh, yeah.
Different colors.
Thank goodness for this event where we've had all these Milceries out so that now I can officially make one of every color.
Oh my god, how many boxes of Milceries do you have?
Oh, I'm trying for a shiny of that right now, too, so the limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist. The limit does not exist.
Well, that is all eight regions and I guess 16 Pokemon that we have talked about things that we like. We're not going to go too into depth into these next few, but we have a couple of honorable mentions from both sides here that we kind of want to talk about. I have to tell you though, Backrolls picks are a little bit more inspired than mine. I'm going to tell you, I personally, the strongest Pokemon come from Generation 1. And so most of mine are going to be coming from the Kanto region, just because I've been playing these games for so long, and I just have such an affinity for some of the Pokemon that I've chosen.
Your heart couldn't leave them behind.
You know what? It really couldn't. And even with these new games, when new Pokemon are introduced, it's always exciting, but I have a hard time looking past it. And honestly, I think that this playthrough with Sword and Shield was the first time in a long time where I really said, okay, I am going to expand my team. I'm going to try and look past a lot of the Pokemon that I have used over and over again in the other games that I've played, and I'm going to try and pick something new. And I think I did fairly well with that. There's a couple that kind of stayed in the roster. Let's start with your first honorable mention here.
Okay, we each picked 4 Pokemon and a legendary, so first, I'm sorry, boy, I had to leave you behind, but my boy Squirtle, I've got the amiibo on my desk. I love him, but I didn't pick any starters in my lineup. I went with Eevee, so sorry, Squirtle.
Hey, he's still got a mention. I think he'll be happy with that.
And you get a new Gigantamax form pretty soon.
Fingers crossed. Oh yeah, actually, no, it is coming. It is, isn't it? They showed us that.
They did.
All right. My first pick for honorable mention, like Arcanine, staple in my team whenever I've had an opportunity to have it, is Pidgeot. Pidgeot is another one of these Pokemon that just moves super fast, and you watch the anime and people fly around on its back. Why would you not want that?
It's a huge bird with amazing flaxen golden hair. It's got like the Fabio hair of the Pokemon world. How could you not like it?
Well, and the thing is, in X and Y, it got a Mega Evolution to make it look even better. I will say though, and this might cause like a rift between us and the viewers, or me and you, I don't know. I don't think that there has been a flying Pokemon as cool as Pidgeot ever.
Well,
some of them are cool, and some of the dual typings that some of these other Pokemon have got are cool, but if you are looking at bird Pokemon, I think Pidgeot is the one.
Oh, that's a bold claim.
Statement.
That's a statement. Well, let's move on from that before the audience reels in rage. Next pick for me is from Gold and Silver. Miltank always kicked my butt in that first normal gym. You think everything's gonna be easy breezy, and then that Miltank uses rollout on you, and you know you're in for a tough fight. I still love Miltank, and I want to use it soon in Sword and Shield.
Oh my god, Whitney's Miltank was a nightmare.
Absolutely.
You really had to overlevel for that gym for Miltank alone.
Mm-hmm.
I warned you folks about this. So my next honorable mention is going to be Raichu. I like Pikachu and all, but again, it's one of these, I have a bit of an affinity for Lieutenant Surge's Raichu in the anime, and Yeah, that's when I knew that I really liked this Pokemon. And then on top of that, we got real lucky with the Alolan version, which I love. I think the Alolan version was a spectacular way of reinventing a Pokemon that I really like.
Completely agreed. Next up for me is Trubbish and Garbodor from the Unova region. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go with Trubbish just because that face is so squishable. But don't actually touch it. It's probably disgusting because it's a gross trash monster. You know how it goes.
Literally a bag of garbage.
He may be a trash monster, but he's my trash monster.
My next pick, again, from the Kanto region, is going to be Blastoise. Blastoise is he's a turtle with cannons on his shoulders. What else is there to say about it? Yeah, he's powerful, great water type. I think he was a great starter. And yeah. By the way, I just want to tell you, your next honorable mention is spectacular. I think it's great.
Thank you. Speaking of birds that aren't as cool as Pidgeot, I really like Talonflame because I think Talonflame is my favorite bird you pick up in the beginning of the game that evolves into a beast since Pidgey. I think the flying fire type that's not Charizard, or Moltres, it's a nice new addition, and I really love Talonflame.
I agree with you. That's a really great pick. For me, it's gonna be my next one's gonna be Dragonite. Dragonite.
I have a random Dragonite I caught in Pokemon Go years ago, and now that Pokemon Home is a thing, I'm like, oh darn it, they made me download Pokemon Go again so I can get it.
Well, when it becomes available, I don't think that functionality is in the app just yet.
Not yet.
Hopefully soon, though. And that is the end of our honorable mentions, except for
our legendaries. So we've written entire movie plot points around him, so I had to say honorable mention legendary for me goes to Mewtwo. He carries plot points. He's in Smash Brothers. Love him.
Yeah, there's too many reasons to not like. There's too many reasons not to like him.
He has to be somewhere on this list if he couldn't be my pick for Generation 1.
I would absolutely agree with you. My legendary is going to come from the other end of the spectrum. I'm going to pick Solgaleo again because it looks real cool.
Oh yeah. Really tremendous design. My partner wanted Pokemon Moon over Pokemon Sun, and just because of Solgaleo, I was actually not very upset about that.
I'm not going to lie to you. There have been times, actually, including with Sword and Shield, where I ended up making my decision based on the legendary because I wasn't really pulled one way or another by the version exclusives. And so, I picked Shield because of Zamazenta, both because of the name and the way he looks. And I absolutely picked Sun over Moon because I like Solgaleo way more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, folks, this has been quite the chat. It was a great time putting all of our favorite Pokemon head-to-head. This is a series that we've loved for decades, and we're so excited to have some of our favorites back in our battle rotations once again. With the universe that Pokemon Home has opened up to us.
So, be sure to check in on Pokemon Day, February 27th, to see if your favorite Pokemon came out on top in their region.
And share your picks with us here. We would love to hear about your favorite Pokemon, especially now with 900 to choose from. We're sure that you have lots that didn't make the list.
As always, we hope you leave this video ready to pick up a Pro Controller, a paintbrush, or a pen. I'm Backrolls.
And I'm Mac Fraser, and this has been the Nintendo Nerds.